We're live.
Are
Yeah,
we?
we're live. All right. It's send.
Yep.
It's actually there?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Hey, how's everyone doing out there in podcast land? This is Canadian Bacon, formerly known as Skinny Elephant. And we're going to be throwing some soccer knowledge at you all out there in podcast land. I'm here with Seabass. If anyone remembers Seabass, he's back.
I'm back, baby.
You're not really loud, man.
Am I? I can hear myself now.
Oh, yeah, no, I can hear yourself. We're going to have bad back problems by the time we're like 30 years
we need
old.
to have a better setup.
Yeah, no, these mics are really short. So, anyways. We're just going to be talking about soccer. I have a new soccer podcast out. I used to do hockey and soccer on YouTube. I don't really follow hockey like I used to. I just kind of just lost interest. It doesn't help that Montreal is doing extremely poor.
Oh, they're doing great.
They're doing a very good job at not winning because...
That takes a lot of skill, dude.
Well, I like to see them finish in the top 5 for draft, but knowing Bergevin, you probably trade it. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start doing hockey in the future. We'll see what happens.
We have to get back into it first, right?
Yeah, from now, I really just want to do soccer. I'm really, really keen on soccer. So, let's just, I guess, get into it. What's that mean? Share Facebook. Is it not sharing on
It's really shared
Facebook?
on Facebook, dude.
Why'd you say that?
Because, dude, they're going to share that. You're basically sharing it again. We're live. It's already there. You're just basically telling people, I'm live. Fucking listen to me.
Okay, so yeah, we just shared it twice on Facebook, apparently.
So people better listen now.
So yeah, people are really gonna... Oh my god, it's doing that again. I don't even know. This is all new to us. We've never obviously done podcasting before. I only did YouTube videos, and those went extremely well. We did about...
In all fairness, you know what? We didn't have we did pretty solid for our first little bit. And on top of that, we had some pretty decent views, and we got a lot of our stuff right. A lot of our predictions, that people want to look back at them, a lot of the stuff we got right, a lot of stuff we talked about the Euros was correct. A lot of our predictions came true.
What group was Portugal in?
That was one that we had.
We did not do well.
That's we
Portugal's
botched
group.
that. We barely got anything right. We thought the worst of Hungary. We thought Portugal and Austria would ease through. That was just terrible. So yeah.
All right, yeah, no, I'm just checking, make sure it's live, which I believe we are.
Dude,
and
we're
you,
live.
You retweeted it. Okay, cool. No, I'm just making sure it's sending everything.
Dude,
on
who
Twitter and
cares?
Facebook.
Right now, we're focusing on talking about stuff.
I want to make sure it's done right.
Uh-huh.
I'm serious. I want to make sure it's done right. All right, so...
Oh, we're gonna talk about Usain Bolt having a trial at Dortmund?
Actually, yeah, let's bring that up. Screw it. Usain Bolt. I don't know if this is a publicity stunt or if this is actually...
Puma's promoting it, but he actually wants to do it.
Well, I know Puma's promoting it because Puma's... He's their guy, man. Oh, if anyone out there from Puma Land is listening to us, hit us up, sponsor us up, send us some free stuff.
Oh, I love Puma gear.
I'm all in. This is going to be my goal throughout the entire podcast. Every single time I'm going to pretty much call out the Puma to sponsor me for this podcast.
Okay, we need to call it Puma, and after this podcast, we're gonna every episode we're gonna have it pinned to our Twitter page about Immobile's back heel goal, and that's gonna be, we're nominating that for goal of the year.
Well, it should win goal of the year, but since he's Italian, it probably won't.
It's probably gonna be Messi.
I don't know what Messi scored this year. Did he score anything good?
He scored a couple nice goals, but not goal of the year worthy. But a lot of time, there's bias there. It's it's Messi, so it's an amazing goal.
Well, it's funny because here's the thing about Messi. You see Messi when he scores a nice goal. It's yeah, but it's Messi. It's that. Yeah, that's pretty much
people basically say he's inhuman, he's a god or whatever. And then based on the logic that people are describing, that shouldn't be impressive. It's that's the very least of what he should be doing, right?
Yeah.
So if he does an out of world thing, that's oh my god. But when he scores a 30-yard curler, it's well, yeah, you better score that. You're
yeah,
the best
I know,
in the world, right?
He scores a 30-yard free kick, and it's what a free kick bender from Messi. I'm well, yeah, it is exactly Messi. I pretty much just pointed that out. So, no, but yeah, Usain Bolt has a tryout with Borussia Dortmund on Friday, right? I think it was Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
It's tomorrow.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's going to be on their YouTube page, but it's being streamed live. So if you're interested, you can look at a stream live. We'll actually post it on our Facebook and our Twitter if anyone's interested. Like I said, they're actually like you can watch Usain Bolt trial for Dortmund. That's actually pretty cool.
That's funny because they lost to Aubameyang. They're like, we need pace. We need more speed up front. We're like, what? Usain, just come at us, man. Apparently he had a tryout for Man United years ago, but I think that was more of
either
a publicity
he wanted
stunt.
to or he had one. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Well, he's a Man United
I
fan,
think
right?
what I know for certain, he made a public statement saying, if Man United would have me, I'm paraphrasing here, but if Man United wanted him, he'd go there easily because that's his favorite club. He's actually a massive supporter of Man United. He's actually a true loyal Man United fan. So I give him props for that. There's not a lot of true celebrity fans as far as we know.
Man United, I'm sure.
No,
sure
celebrity
more
fans.
than a few.
Because a lot of times you see celebrities, they're just like big teams. Like he's a true fan. Like he knows the club in and out. Like he's very passionate, and he has a very good knowledge. Like if you've read interviews and stuff like that, like he knows what he's talking about, and he knows the team.
Yeah, I guess you would call him a celebrity. He probably what, B-list, C-list celebrity. I guess Usain Bolt. Wouldn't call him an A-lister, but
No.
Anyways, the big news in world football, pretty much friendlies right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the big news. Tomorrow is a really busy day for friendlies. It was, who was it? Italy, Argentina, Germany versus someone big. It was Italy, Argentina, Russia, Brazil.
Okay, wait. So tomorrow we have Germany playing Spain,
Germany, Spain.
then Argentina playing Italy.
Yeah.
What's another big game?
Russia plays Brazil, which isn't
Switzerland
really
looks decent. Like their quality teams would be really defensive.
Wait, who?
Like it's Greece and Switzerland. Like I'd watch it, but it'd be like a really tactical defensive game. Netherlands.
Yeah, if
England.
anyone wants to watch a 0-0 friendly, Greece is playing Switzerland tomorrow. So yeah, if anyone wants to see a friendly with no goals, yeah,
Well,
go ahead tune in
Netherlands,
for that.
England, Nigeria, Poland. That could be interesting. That could be some
Nigeria,
good goals in there.
Poland.
Well, like I said, Poland's going to be coming at them, and then Nigeria's just going to counterattack it the whole time. It's actually like it's a pretty good, like mid-rated teams going up against each other, and they're both World Cup teams. They're both heading to the World Cup. Then you have a decent game: Portugal, Egypt, France. Who are they playing? France playing Colombia. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, of course. I'm working tomorrow. All the good games are on tomorrow, right? Of course.
Yeah, and then like Saturday, like we're both off. Well, no, I'm off early. There's like no good games. Like maybe like the best game is like Sweden, Chile, or like Togo and Ivory Coast.
Why? Like, why are all the best games on Friday? Why would you not spread them out? Like, it's ridiculous.
Why go hit up a club when you can watch a friendly international match?
I mean, that sounds like my Saturday night, but hey, maybe not.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. But since it's our first podcast back in a while, I guess you can call what we did before video podcasts. What I really wanted to talk about, and this was something that was 10 years in the making. This was not a surprise by any means, but even though they're playing Argentina tomorrow, we do have a World Cup without Italy. First World Cup in, 50 years? 52 years?
Don't ask me.
It was something like that. It was really something incredible like that.
We need Jamie.
Jamie, oh my gosh, we do. Yo, we should hire Jamie from Joe Rogan Show. He knows all the stuff, man. He knows all the facts.
He knows how to Google, man.
He knows how to Google.
No, Jamie's a lot more than that.
Yeah, Jamie's awesome. I love Jamie. Jamie's great from Joe Rogan. Listen to Joe Rogan.
But yeah, it's been like half, or at least half a century since Italy hasn't made the World Cup. So that's huge news. And it's all their own doing.
Well, we lost to a Sweden team who was underrated, to say the least. They weren't a bad team, but they weren't anywhere near Italy's quality, and that affected us a lot because we had some old senile man 170-year-old John Piero Ventura there, who simply didn't know his best team, his best formation. Pretty much had no connection with the players. Got angry when the players couldn't play a system that he was running.
That made no sense.
That didn't make any sense. We ended up with Lorenzo Insigne in center mid in a 3-5-2 in the first leg against Sweden.
Yeah, that's the thing you want. You want a 5-4 player in the midfield. It's going to go so well against a big Sweden.
What was that gif? Insigne comes on and he just shrugs his shoulders because he's like, yeah, I don't know either.
No,
like,
do you not remember? Like, was it the second leg? When he's putting De Rossi on, he's like, put Insigne on.
Oh, no, that one was another one. No, I was talking about the one where he got subbed on in the first game.
Uh-huh.
And he's playing center mid, and he's trying to tell the players are looking at him like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I know. I don't get it either. That pretty much... Oh, that was bad. That was so bad. Puts on he wants to put on De Rossi, and Insigne's left on the bench. I don't get that. I don't get that one.
And they need a goal. Like, if you know what, if they're up and they had like 1 goal deficit, and like, you know what, this is the last second leg, we got to finish this, grind it out, which is the Italian way. Whatever, it's not the best strategy because you want to have at least 2 goals, put it away, right?
Yeah,
2-3 goals, try. But you're behind. You're behind by, was it a goal?
It was only 1 goal. We literally lost because it wasn't even a good goal. No offense to Sweden, they played well and whatnot. But the goal they scored wasn't even a great goal. It was a deflection that beat Buffon, who probably should have done better. He just fell, and it beat Buffon, went in the net, and that's pretty much how we were knocked out on a weird deflection off of, I believe it was Bonucci.
That was it Michelini?
No, I think it was Bonucci. Because Bonucci was not playing extremely well at that time for Milan. And I believe it was Bonucci. But the whole system didn't make any sense. We played a 3-5-2, which left Insigne out. Players like Insigne, players like El Shaarawy, who were at the time in form. Insigne still in form, doing extremely well for Napoli. But El Shaarawy was in form at the time. Guys like Patrick Cutrone and Mario Balotelli were left at home, who were at the time in form. Patrick Cutrone, who had scored, I believe it was like 5 goals in 5 games, counting, to be fair, friendlies in Europa League qualifying fixtures. But 5 goals in 5 games, gets left at home. Mario Balotelli, who still hasn't been called up. I don't get it. He still hasn't been called up to this Italy squad.
14 goals so far in the league for...
no, he's got like 24 games and 24 goals, 25 games in all competitions or something like that.
Well, I'm talking about in the league. I'm not talking about all competitions.
Yeah, even still, 24 and 25 games in all competitions? Yeah, I think it's like 13 or 14 goals in the league. Something like that for Nice. It still doesn't get called up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's racism or what comes down to that one.
Maybe it's his attitude and past performances, but at the same time, there's other players that should be called up that aren't being called up.
Yeah, it's just...
Like, you know how long it took for him to call up Insigne? Do you not remember that?
Well, no, Insigne... What happened with Insigne and Conte... Insigne, at first, when Conte was coaching, had a little spat. And he didn't like that he wasn't playing... And Insigne had a little spat with Conte, so Conte wasn't calling him up. And then when he did get called up, he didn't really get played in his proper position. So when Ventura came on, that spat continued. So they ended up making peace, and he shook Ventura's hand, and all was well. And that was put to bed.
And just a correction from earlier, when Ventura was playing, he was classically playing the 4-4-2, the 4-2-4. He didn't play the 3-5-2. The 4-2-4 is flat. It has no midfield. Like, it just didn't work for the Italy team. Like, it's like you look at that team and it's just like, what are you trying to do?
Well, what he did was he played the 3-5-2. He took over for Conte. He played the 3-5-2. Switched to the 4-2-4, which is fine when you're playing teams like Macedonia and Armenia and teams that really have no defense, you can just go ahead and put attackers up the pitch. That's not an issue. But the trouble was when he went up against Spain with two in the midfield, which Spain played a false nine essentially with Isco and Asensio as a center forward role, and he pretty much put a team up with two midfielders against four midfielders for Spain, which
you remember what happened? It ended so well.
I think it would end 3-0. It ended 3-0, I believe.
Pretty sure Spain rocked Italy. I'm pretty sure it's bigger than 3-0.
No, it was only 3-0. It wasn't that high. Should have been way more. It was only 3-0. But
oh, Toronto beat Nashville. Damn, 5-2.
Nice, jeez. But yeah, no. Italy lost 3-0, and that's when the questions started. Oh, maybe Ventura's not the guy. And anyone who had watched the Italy games,
yep. Isu got a brace and Morata scored.
It was 3-0. Those are
all right.
And anyone who had watched the games before knew that Italy wasn't playing well, and they weren't up to their pretty much standards as a team. They were still sometimes leaking goals in manners they shouldn't have. And it just made sense to play the 4-3-3. It looked like, oh, well, this is just common sense. You need to switch to it. Go out and put Insigne in the squad. Put guys like, obviously, Immobile, who was in form, and guys like El Shaarawy at the time who were in form. Simone Verdi as well, who was in form at that time. And he stuck with the 4-2-4, barely scraped by Israel to qualify for the playoff as one of the top seeds. Got Sweden, and frankly, that's kind of team I wanted us to play, because I figured, well, if we get Sweden, maybe we'll actually go out there, we'll play hard. I didn't want a team like Northern Ireland or a team defensive like that who simply just defends. Maybe Italy takes them lightly. So I said, I want Sweden. I would very much like to grab Sweden, because Sweden was a very underrated team going into that one. They had beat the Netherlands they beat them once, and they beat some tough teams and put up a lot of goals in qualifying. So I figured, hey, if we get Sweden, we're gonna try. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna play hard. We're gonna beat Italy. We are. And like I said, what made sense was to put out a 4-3-3. Just keep it the way it is. Kandreva even on the right wing. Who knows, right? Jorginho playing in behind, who finally got called up. It was about time for Italy. Jorginho in that center mid role, along with Marco Verratti, or even could bring in De Rossi, like Seabass said, if we were up a goal. And he puts out this 3-5-2 without Jorginho, without Insigne. Has Belotti, who at the time wasn't very fit, got called up to Italy, unjustifiably got called up to Italy, who wasn't really fit at the time. Then Zaza goes down, who was in form at the time, gets injured, so calls up Gabbiadini, who, again, wasn't really in form, didn't really have any reason to be called up. Eder gets called up as well, as Balotelli and Cutrone get left off the team. So we go into that first game, and it was so predictable. It was just through balls up the middle to Belotti or Immobile running behind. Crosses coming into no one in the box. Pretty much safe passes all around outside the box. No one even trying to take a shot. No one trying to beat their man, anything like that. And the system clearly wasn't working. So he takes off. Sweden come down, and they weren't getting too many chances. But Forsberg was playing well, and the center mids were causing a lot of issues running in behind the strikers. And they catch us off guard. The center mid runs in. I actually forget the center mid who scored. I don't remember his name.
That defender scored.
No, it was a center mid. I forget his name. No, I forget his name.
He was a sub. He came on as a sub, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably, but he came on, scored, took a deflection, went in, and they're up. So, and it was really early in the second as well. Brings on Eder, for Bellotti. Insigne gets left off the pitch, brings on Adair, and you're just thinking, why? That's all everyone's thinking. Like, why is Adair even playing?
Johansson scored.
Johansson?
Yeah.
He's a center mid, right? I believe it's a center mid. So yeah, it was Johansson. So Italy are down 1-0. Adair comes on. Sure, okay, Adair's on. Then you look at guys like Balotelli, who said wasn't called up, probably should have been there. Gabbiadini's on the bench, who shouldn't be there. Insigne gets left off the bench. Then they bring on Insigne with about 15 minutes left, not even a lot of time. Before that, Darmian strikes the post. To be fair, if that goes in, it's a different game going back to Italy.
Darmian had an incredible game that game. Like, he put a lot of energy.
It's funny because Darmian shouldn't have been there, but yeah, he was probably one of our best players, which don't know if that's saying
Pretty
much.
sure he was our best player. He's making the most happen that game.
That game probably was, yeah.
Like, he was giving it a result. I'm like, you know what? I have a newfound respect for Darmian.
Yeah, he's probably one of our best players that game, if not the best. And Darmian strikes the ball off the post. That goes in. Completely different game going back to Italy. Doesn't go our way. No problem. Insigne gets brought on as a center mid. And he can't even explain it to people. They can't even explain it to the players on the pitch. They're all like, hey, where are you playing? He's like, yo, playing center mid. And they're just like, oh, cool. It just makes no sense. And second game comes on. After we lose 1-0, go into the second game. Pretty much no confidence. No one's thinking much from Italy. Everyone's thinking we're done. And we go in against Sweden. Jorginho starts with Immobile and Gabbiadini up front. Again, Gabbiadini shouldn't be there, but he didn't have the worst game. And I only watched about the first half of that. And unfortunately, couldn't catch the rest of the game. But Jorginho comes on, and he makes like 3 sublime passes. And he was on the pitch for like 20 minutes at the time. And he makes 3 solid passes. And you're just looking at that, and you're like, why isn't he deployed in the first game? Why is a guy like that left off the team in the first game? Why are you calling him up? One of the best passers and assist leaders in Europe for, seasons? Or at least 3-4 years. Gets left off the team.
Like, don't him and Julian Weigl have, like, one of the best pass percentage ratings?
Yeah,
right
I know Jorginho's pass rating is like 93%. It's really high. Julian Weigl, I know, is also really high 90s. Or maybe low 90s.
Well, he hasn't been playing as much, so his stats might have dropped a little bit.
Probably. But I know Jorginho has one of the best passer ratings. I believe it's Jorginho and Verratti who have like the best pass percentages in Europe or something like that. And, you know, like I said, you look at that and you think, what are you doing as a coach? Get knocked out, lose. And Ventura, who was our coach and El Capitan, I guess you can say, couldn't even face the media, walks out the back doors, avoids the media, and not only avoids the media, the very next day, he doesn't resign after it was reported he was resigning, because anyone who has dignity would have resigned. You don't have a choice. Doesn't resign, stays on as Italy coach, and says, I had the best record for Italian coaches. I'm not stepping down. I only lost 2 games. Well, that's great, but when you lose 2 games, 2 important games, it's kind of hard to defend yourself. So, he gets his severance package, I think it was like $700K or something like that. He gets a $700K severance package. They say, see you later, you're done. Takes off, no problem. And from then on, we're at this point now, where you have an Italy team who probably would still be in the top 10 on paper if you look at that Italy team. I'd probably put them in the top 10 in the world. like I said, on paper. And they're not going to the World Cup. It's simple as that. You have a team who boasts the likes of Marco Verratti and Gianluigi Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, Immobile, who's one of the most informed strikers in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to the World Cup. It's one of those things where, like I said, this was 10 years in the making. And it really, if you think about it, all goes back to 2006, win the World Cup, go into 2008 Euros, maybe get a bit unlucky, losing the shootout to Spain. Spain starts their international dominance after winning that one. And it just kind of really downfall from there. Go into a 2010 World Cup where we have guys like Giuseppe Rossi, Mario Balotelli, young, really talented strikers who were essentially left off the team. Really no reason, just get left off the team. And we have one of the most disastrous World Cup displays in years after winning the World Cup the tournament before. In a group which was more than achievable. No reason why we couldn't have moved on. A group of Paraguay, Slovakia, and New Zealand get left in the dust, and we're out of that tournament. And the questions from there start: who's to blame? Everyone blames Marcello Lippi, and rightfully so. Guy who won us a World Cup in 2006, but a lot of it can be attributed to the stubbornness in Italy and how the old guard is always the way to go and how stubborn they are in Italy. And guys like Pirlo and Buffon, who were brought to the tournament but clearly weren't fit and weren't going to play. They were injured. They couldn't play until later on in the tournament. Why they're being brought, I have no idea. Guys like Simone Pepe, who was one of our standout players. Who, if anyone who doesn't know who Simone Pepe is, I don't blame you. Realistically, you probably aren't. You're not expected to know who he is. No one. He never really became a major star. I think he's playing Serie B right now. I'm not even sure. And that the 2010 World Cup was a massive failure. So we go into the Euro 2012, and we're like, oh, well, we got a young team coming up. Balotelli's on the team. The resurgence of Cassano was also left off the 2010 team. And, until Di Natale, who was starting to hit his prime, or his peak, I should say, not his prime, at the time. And we probably overachieve, to say the least, when...
He retired. Pepe retired.
Simone Pepe retired?
Yep.
Are you this show's Jamie?
I want to make sure people are informed, so I want to look up stuff.
He actually retired.
Last year was at Pescara. It was his last season.
Was that last year? 2 years ago.
Last year.
Last year was at Pescara?
Last season, yeah.
Oh,
so at the end of the 2017 season, 2016, 2017.
There you have it. Apparently, Simone Pepe retired. So that's an interesting one. So, jeez, he retired. All right. So we go into 2012 World Cup, and we start off slow like we usually do. Tie Spain, which at the time was a decent achievement, coming off Euro and World Cup champions. Tie Spain 1-1. Tie Croatia, who probably we should have swept aside. Not that they're a bad side, but we probably should have managed to put them away, up 1-0, going into the second half, but sit back, typical Italian, sit back, play defensive, blow the lead. So we go into the game against Ireland, and don't really display a lot. We win 2-0, and even though we win 2-0, we get very lucky, because if Croatia ties Spain, Croatia go through, Spain scores a goal, Croatia are out, and Spain scores in the 88th minute or something ridiculous like that. Help us get through to the next round. Go up against England, winning a shootout. We didn't score against England, winning a shootout. In a game that, to be fair, we dominated against England and probably should have won before the shootout, win it in shootout. Going to the next round and overachieving against a Germany team who was just flying through that tournament at the time. Very good German side.
That was surprising. Like, honest, after that one slip up by Lahm, and Balotelli put it in the bag, and that was just it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was Lahm kept Balotelli on side, and Balotelli just, what a shot that was, too.
That was disappointing.
Oh man, that was a hell. I remember too showing up for a graduation that night, and I was like, Germany's gonna sweep us aside. They're just flying through this tournament. They were putting up goals left and right. And I showed up, and I was like, how the hell did we just beat Germany? I was like, holy cow. Balotelli putting in 2 goals, man of the match for performance from him. And we sweep aside a really good Germany team. Going to the final, and a lot happens in the final. Prandelli gets his tactics wrong, and it was a very, very difficult, tough Spain team as well.
Didn't he put on Cleany when he knew Cleany was recovering from injury? Then he got injured.
Cleany goes down for the first goal. Can't keep up with Silva. Silva puts it in the empty net. Brings on Cassano, or put Cassano on. He's struggling from, it was a heart condition or something ridiculous like that. Gets played for some reason. Brings on Thiago Motta. We were down 2-0 at the time. Brings on Thiago Motta. He pulled a hamstring, goes out. And they pretty much just get humiliated in the final. I believe it was, I think that one we actually lost 4-0 in the final, I think it was. Got smashed by Spain.
Don't turn me into Jamie, man.
No, it was 4-0. I remember scores. I was actually checking. I remember it was 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, I remember scores. The first tie was 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Then the latter was 4-0. So, what are you shaking your head for? That's 4-0.
No.
Yeah. So, we lose that one. And everyone's saying, we're proud of Italy. This is more to come. This is a young team who showed a lot of fight and a really good side. We're going to go into the next World Cup, maybe not as favorites, but do well and, show some fight. Same old bullshit, political bullshit in Italy. Giuseppe Rossi, who's flying high, to be fair, gets injured mid-season, comes back, still scoring when he comes back, doing well. Coach Prandelli says, hey, we wait for you, bud. Cesare Prandelli says, we're waiting for you. Italy waits for you. You're going to be on the team pretty much. ESPN, I remember ESPN did an interview. They interviewed Giuseppe Rossi before the selection and said, how's it feel to play for your country? You're pretty much going to the World Cup. How's it feel? He said, it's great, whatnot. Typical interview, whatnot. And he gets left off the squad. He gets left off the team. And it's the same old, it's Cassano's time. He deserves to be there. Oh, he deserves to be there. Oh, he does. No, and that, again, it's the same political bullshit in Italy where youth and people who are in form are not given the chance because guys like Daniele De Rossi, Cassano, who got called up at the time, again, it's his time, shouldn't be getting called up over Giuseppe Rossi. And it's something that has hurt Italy for years. You would never see something like that happen in Germany or something like that happen in other nations. Because
I don't know why Joachim Low isn't calling up Philip Max.
That's actually interesting. Philip Max not getting called up.
Well, one of the reasons he said he's not what we're looking for, the only thing that would be logical is he's more of an offensive player. He's not really a defensive fullback.
Well, who's the left back, Hector?
Hector and Plattenhardt. Which Plattenhardt is really solid defensively. He's a really well-rounded fullback. Well, no, Philip Max. But at the same time, it's like it's a friendly. Give him a call-up at the very least.
He's leading assists, too.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Philip Max doesn't get called up because leading assists doesn't get called up. But, no, it's one of those situations where... Don't get me wrong, it happens in other nations. Brazil and Argentina, all the South American
years
players.
Roberto Firmino has been like killing in the Bundesliga, putting up really good numbers. Has been called up for Brazil. Goes to Liverpool. Finally has a platform where he can actually show off his talents when he gets a lot of TV coverage. And oh my God, he's an amazing player. Like he's been doing the same stuff in the Bundesliga for years. And the Hoffenheim team, who didn't really have nobody at the time.
Yeah, but that happens to a lot. To be fair, it's unjust.
At the same time, there were
happens
really
to a lot
any
of players.
Brazil players who putting up better numbers than Firmino. Like he was well deserved to be called up to that team.
Well, that's what I was alluding to with the South American players. You get guys like Joe and guys like
Fred
who get called up, who are just there to be there because they're doing it in the Brazilian league, but can't seem to cope when it comes against actual national team players and don't do well. And same thing happened with Argentina. Some guys got called up, which didn't make any sense at the time. And so on and so forth. To be fair with this political garbage, it happens everywhere. Italy's not the only nation, but Italy are the one nation that consistently does it on a consistent basis. Guys like Franco Vasquez, who for some reason can't get a call up. What that guy has to do to get a call up, I don't even know. He plays well for Sevilla, plays well for the national team and gets called up, and just for some reason doesn't get called up.
He's Argentinian. Doesn't make sense for.
Who's Argentinian? Vasquez?
Yeah, isn't he Argentinian?
No, he's playing for Italy.
No, but because he has Argentinian roots.
Yeah, but Camoranesi on the 06 team was Argentine, and helped us win a World Cup. Guys like Eder, he's Brazilian. Thiago Motta's Brazilian. They get called up.
No, but here's like the thing. Like one of the main things that people have been saying in Italy about why the team isn't doing well is because they said they're calling up all these immigrants. Like they want a pure national team.
So why is Eder getting called up?
I don't know.
That's just it. That's my main point. Why is Eder getting called up? Why is Thiago Motta getting called up? If that's the case, then. If anything, why are we not calling up the good immigrants? Why are we calling up the bad immigrants? I don't understand that. That makes no sense. We call up Eder and Thiago Motta, but the good immigrants, Vasquez and Balotelli, don't get called up. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier in the week when Balotelli wasn't was it a week ago? When Balotelli wasn't
Saturday. The news came out Saturday, and again, what the hell does he have to do to get called up?
And then you're talking about with Moise Kean. Like, if anyone doesn't know Moise Kean, like, enlighten them.
Oh, Moise Kean's a very young player owned by Juventus who plays for Hellas Verona, and he put up like 5 or 6 goals at 17 years old, which is really solid. For a 17-year-old, put up 5 or 6 goals. And I was telling Seabass, like, is this going to be the same political garbage? Because I believe because Balotelli's black, it has a lot to do with it, unfortunately, that he's getting screwed and left off the team. So, is the same thing going to happen with Moise Kean? Is he, Moise Kean's going to come up, score like 30 goals a season, not get called up because he's black? I don't understand this. I don't understand why guys are consistently getting left off the team who more than deserve to be there. I don't understand all this political garbage, and I think if Italy doesn't learn from this, I don't know where you go from here. Because, and this is what frustrated me, and I told you this was going to happen. 2016, probably one of the weakest Italy teams gets called up since 2010 World Cup. And I told you this would happen. We overachieved. We not so much overachieved, but we played as a unit. We lacked a lot of talent with guys like Giaccherini and guys like Graziano Pelle and Eder up front. But what we lacked in talent, we made up in team building and chemistry. and we had a lot of it going into the tournament. And we played really well, and we swept aside Belgium, who were favorites in the tournament. Beat Sweden, oddly enough, 1-0 in the 87th minute or something late like that. Played a second team against Ireland. Ireland won. Congratulations to them. Did well. Moved on. And beat Spain again, a team we lost to in qualifying. Swept them aside 2-0. Played really well. Pretty much gave them nothing. Barely broke us down. And went into the quarterfinals against the German team again, who are favorites, and played well. It was one of those games where probably one of the best psychological games we've seen. You said that it was one of those games where mentally it was exhausting for a lot of the players, and went to the shootout where it could have went any way. Any team could have won in the shootout. It was just one of those things where if Schweinsteiger doesn't miss, it doesn't get extended, and if Zaza doesn't skip to Mailou to take that penalty, maybe we do better. But
in all fairness, he shouldn't have been he didn't even have a proper warm up.
Yeah,
that was a bad substitution.
That substitution by Conte made no sense. If you're gonna bring him on to take a pen, bring him on with 5 minutes so he gets to touch the ball. Don't bring him on in the 118th minute, whatever it was, where he doesn't even get to touch the ball and goes and takes a pen. I didn't get that one.
That was probably one of the few tactics you didn't get right throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah.
That was
either way. Why you
can put the success on Conte's tactics? Why they did so well?
Oh,
he got the team together as a unit.
It just goes to show. You look at teams like Iceland. You look at teams like Albania. You look at teams like Hungary. Well, Albania not so much. They move on. But teams like Hungary, Iceland, even Portugal, who even though were unbelievable, had a lot of talent, at least won as a team. They played as a unit. Again,
they played the 10-man team. Ronaldo, for some reason, got player of the tournament. He was one of the worst.
Ronaldo didn't get player of the tournament.
I thought he did.
No, Griezmann did.
Oh, Griezmann did. But
Ronaldo was in team of the tournament, which was bullshit.
Nani and Pepe, as much as we hate Pepe, was easily one of the better players. He had an incredible Euro. And Nani was easily their best player. And Renato Sanchez was an integral part in that Portugal team.
My God, what
remember
happened
that
to
final
him?
with Ronaldo?
Renato
I was so
Sanchez.
upset with Ronaldo. He's screaming at his players are making mistakes. You're the captain of the team. He was jeopardizing the team. They could have lost that game. He got them their focus. At the end of the game, you're trying to keep the game. You don't distraught your players.
Remember I said to him, watch, he's gonna, after the game, he's gonna take his shirt off and celebrate. And what did he do? He took his shirt off and celebrated. I was like he did something. I was like, my God, this guy's hilarious.
The only thing he can credit for, was it 3-3 against Hungary? What team did he?
Yeah, that back heel goal against Hungary, which was one of the goals of the tournament, and that goal, he scored 2 against Hungary, and he scored that header against Wales. Other than that,
he did all tournament. He was quiet.
Other than that, Ronaldo was absolutely useless in the tournament.
And it's not necessarily entirely Ronaldo's fault, but the way the team was set up, they don't have chemistry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this on the table.
Yeah, or we gotta have stands for our mics or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have proper stands or something.
When you get those stands, it's gonna be in front, right in front of our face, we're making a music video.
Actually, I have 2 of those.
You do? Let's not do it right now.
No. We'll do it next time. We'll be more prepared next time. I have one. Okay. I have one at least. I don't know about maybe buy one for $5 or something.
Here's the problem with Portugal. Portugal have always had a really talented team, but the problem is they treat it like Ronaldo's the only player. Back in the day, he had players when Yao Moutinho was in his prime. He had Ricardo Quaresma. He had a great Euro that year. They're not playing as a unit. They're playing very divisional, and it's pass to Ronaldo. I'm sorry, there are other teams, there are other players on the team that are good. You can pass to someone else. And Ronaldo has the ball the whole time. He's trying to do everything, and then he has players wide open. He's not passing.
I
He
read
needs
I
to have
read an
faith in his own
article
team.
today. I read an article today about Brazil, and it said, "Are Brazil better with or without Neymar?" And of course, the article said, "Yes, of course, Brazil are good with Neymar, but they don't need Neymar to win." You watch Brazil, and okay, Neymar's injured. That's fine. They can slot 3 other players there: Felipe Coutinho, Firmino, as we've alluded to.
No,
Guys
Neymar's
like
been
that.
playing striker for Brazil. You're not going to put
Right.
Coutinho there.
No, but he's injured.
Yeah.
That's how he's injured, right?
Mhm.
So, no, he's playing striker, yes, but say if he was playing wing, right? Brazil doesn't rely on Neymar to win. That's what makes Brazil such a threat coming into this World Cup. They are playing as a unit and look strong like a unit. It wasn't like in 2014 where it was solely dependent on Neymar. You watched what happened when they didn't have Neymar and Thiago Silva. They fell apart against Germany. This Brazil team is going to be a different team going into this tournament. And I'm not a Brazil fan.
None of us are.
No, we're not.
In all
I
fairness,
have made excuses for Brazil for years why they've done well. But this World Cup, they look really legit and really strong.
they're finally bringing players that really deserve to be there. Like you know, for the longest time they weren't calling up players that had every right to be there. Like, how long did it take for Coutinho to play? How long did it take for Firmino to play? They're bringing all these players that just have no right. They don't deserve to be there. You know, and actually, we should do this for a pre-World Cup podcast. But who do you think should start? Like me, Patricia, were talking. Kenny Baker were talking about this a while back. I think Firmino should start over Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
Because at this present moment, Firmino is a better player. If they can find a way to incorporate the two of them, but at the same time, like, because you can say Firmino, you can slot him behind Jesus, but what is that? I mean, you can put Firmino behind Jesus, but where do you put Coutinho? Like, he can play in the wing, but like that's his best position. You know, like they got to find a way to incorporate.
You hear that?
Yeah, that's like your furniture, like your.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? Yeah.
No, I was saying like I don't know how they're gonna set up their team. You know, like I.
They're playing 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
So 4-3-3 with the CDM. I can't remember the last time I saw a team, other than frankly, you look at Germany's squad right now, where you see no weaknesses in this Brazil team. You don't see many weaknesses at all.
I wouldn't say no weaknesses in Germany, but.
Oh, Germany?
Yeah.
What's their biggest weakness? Lack of striker?
No, actually, we're kind of doing well there.
Well, I know you said fullbacks.
I think our fullbacks, like Kimmich, is a great fullback. He should be playing center mid, but at the same time, he's thriving in that right back role. My problem is we don't have a world class left back. It worked out in the World Cup. We played Hubertus and who's playing as a right back again? Because we had at the time it was Mustafi playing as right back. I forget who we changed it to. Was it Rudy? Or who was, I forget, it was a while back. But
jeez. No, Rudy wasn't even on the team in 2014.
I'm pretty sure he was in the World Cup team. Like, he likes Rudy because Rudy's a very versatile player. He's a really consistent player. Like, I don't know why. He's one of the main reasons he got called up. He's consistent.
I do not remember Sebastian Rudy in that 2014 team.
Well, he might not have been, but I forget who he put on as that. Because, Lom retired or no? I forget.
Lom was right back. He slotted back to right back because you guys had injuries. I remember that.
Oh, he was playing midfield in the World Cup.
Yeah, but then he slotted back to right back. Yes.
No, but like, there's actually a statistic. I'd recommend everyone listening to look it up. Teams with the best right backs in the world usually win.
Fullbacks. Fullbacks in general, not just right back.
I meant to say fullbacks.
If you have a good right back, doesn't matter who the frick is on the left back. It's actually kind of true. Because I remember when Milan won 2007, we had Yankelowski at left back. So it's kind of true. We had a good right back at the time. Zambrata.
And also, what was it? Also a statistic for Germany. All our World Cup teams have won. We've always played with wingers, and we've always had very attacking fullbacks. Like every single World Cup team, that's the teams that won. You know, it's surprising. You know, and it's like we didn't have like a thrashing team. Like we didn't have like a, our winger was what, Mesut Ozil and
2014 didn't have a thrashing team.
no, thrashing wingers. Like Mesut Ozil is not a guy who's going to come up with pace down the wings.
Yeah, Royce was injured. Yeah, who was your? You didn't have a quick team in 2014. It wasn't really
played well.
Muller played right mid. I remember that.
Yeah, but he played striker for a bit. Didn't work out. Then he started playing Klose.
Yeah, Klose.
Hey, you know what? He did well. I can't take it away from
Well,
him.
no, I love Klose. Yeah, no, I love.
I don't like Klose, but that's for another day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll hear about it in the prediction video there for World Cup.
Yeah.
But no, no, I keep saying video
Like
podcast. Jeez.
We moved the ball up well and we defended well. I think one of the main reasons we won that World Cup, just solid defense, and Neuer stepped his game up. Like for the longest time, I was never the biggest fan of Neuer because like he made some really stupid saves. Like the way he positioned himself, where he dived. Like what are you doing? Like why are you trying to be so flashy? And then that World Cup, he really stepped up his game up, and finally earned my respect. He played that sweeper role excellent, and he wasn't overzealous when it came in when he was in net and he had to take a shot.
Yeah, it comes down to a major. It's like you said, with the teams that have the best fullbacks have won, and that's kind of my point. You look at a team like Brazil, who just fullback wise is just through the line. I mean, you can slot anyone there at fullback, and they're solid. Dani Alves, who's having a solid year for PSG for the most part. Left back is Alexandro, Marcelo, Felipe Luis, anyone of those.
Brazil has one of the best selections of left backs right now. Like I can't think of a team who has more depth in that position.
And I think my point is with that is you look at an Italy squad who we don't have many players like that coming up. I think now we have certain players like Patrick Cutrone and a Pellegrini, who at 16 years old went to Monaco. Guys,
a lot of young striking.
We have actually a lot of young strikers, but guys like Nico Barella and guys who are finally starting to get playing time, and I think we have to learn from this and move on, evolve. I know the voting comes up very, very shortly. The voting for the next president. I really hope it's Tomasi, who has a lot of great ideas. And he wants to take what the Bundesliga has done and has become successful from it and apply it to Serie A. And I can't argue with him. I think it's a great idea. I think limiting the Serie A to 18 teams helps immensely. It does us a favor because with 18-man team, 18 teams in the league, 18-man team. Imagine an 18-man team. That'd be hilarious. 18 men on the pitch.
It's like that Nike commercial.
That Nike commercial was sick. I don't even like Nike, and that Nike commercial was sick. But you look at Serie A, 18 teams in the league benefits us so much. More money to give to teams, more quality in play, and pretty much more opportunity for youth in the league. And I think you start from there and you build on. We're finally doing the winter break, which is huge for Serie A. I think that's something that many leagues benefit from. Because, remember, we were talking about that in 2014. Mm-hmm. And you even mentioned it, and at the time I didn't think much of it. But we were talking about how fresh Germany looked later on in the tournament compared to a lot of teams.
Why do you think the Premier League always struggles? Like English players always struggle when they go to the World Cup.
I don't think
they
it's
play all those
that,
moves. I think that's an influencing factor.
I think it makes it. Yeah,
like, when you have all these players are playing
sure.
all these games and then they're fatigued by the end of the season. Usually what I notice is players that have some of the best World Cups, they come like maybe have an injury like mid-season and they have like a nice break and they're fresher. Like,
yeah,
you pay attention to that. Like, I don't know how well Neuer is because it's different for an outfield player and a goalkeeper, right? But you can even say that Neuer's fresh, and he's going to have an incredible World Cup. I don't know.
I think Ter Stegen's got a star day.
I think they need to Neuer needs to prove himself in the last little bit that he is on point.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. I don't like this loyalty thing because that was our crux in the World Cup. Like I'm
this
sorry.
loyal thing which screwed Italy for years. This is exactly what I'm talking about. What he's talking about. Neuer comes back. Oh, it's the loyalty thing. You start Neuer, he doesn't do well. It didn't work very well for Spain with Casillas. Remember in 2014, Casillas. Oh, it's the loyalty thing. Doesn't play many games for Madrid. They lose. He lets in 5 goals against the Dutch. He lets in another 3 against Chile, right? And I agree with you on that. And the
Like,
point
I think a player needs to earn that. Like I like how Joachim Low isn't automatically playing Royce. In all fairness, though, when Royce came back, he's scoring consistently. But he's being smart. He's saying, "Okay, we're not going to call you up. Make sure you're healthy and you're playing games and you're playing well and you have a chance." He's saying you have a chance. He's not saying you have a guaranteed spot, which I like. I think one of the main reasons that we lost that World Cup is just bad tactics towards the end. And as soon as I saw he started Schweinsteiger against France, I knew we were going to lose. Euros. Yeah. I knew we were going to lose. Like, Schweinsteiger is a great player to have towards the end of the game. It's still tied, 1-1, 0-0, whatever. Or we're down. The team's a little fatigued. He's going to liven up the team. You have a national hero legend. And he's going to revitalize them. You don't start him. He's been injured for most of the season. He's still recovering through injury throughout the tournament. You don't start him against an important game like Spain. Like, I don't know why he didn't, start a better midfield. And then, like I said, towards the end of the game, he's going to pick the team up. You need to have more energized players. You need to, and again, Schweinsteiger deserved to be there. Like, he's still a quality player, even throughout all those injuries, but bring him off the bench. Get it just. It's like with Italy, Buffon. Like, why is Buffon still playing for Italy when you have all these young talented keepers like Matteo Perin? You have John
Luigi Donnarumma is like the golden boy now. He seems to be the next goal. He seems to be the next Buffon for like the next 20 years. And John Luigi Donnarumma, and I believe he's that good. I think he will. Whether he stays with Milan remains to be seen. But I believe he's that good, and I think he will be our goalie for the next 20 years. But, yeah, no, exactly. Guys like Donnarumma, Alex Murray from Udine, who has been stellar for the under-21 team. And we even have a younger goalie in Milan, Matteo Plizzari, I believe. I don't know if that's his first name. My name is Plizzari. Incredible young goaltender. So you want to see these guys get more of a chance. I believe Italy's kind of headed in the right direction with the friendlies because you saw guys like Cutrone and Chiesa get called up. That's another guy actually should have been called up. I couldn't remember. Chiesa was another guy who should have been called up for the qualifiers.
I don't know how legitimate it is, but I read some articles that Chiesa is linked to Bayern. That'd be interesting. It'd work.
Chiesa to Bayern.
It'd actually work.
Oof.
Because here's the thing. Like, the player, like, they lack in the left wing position. Like, Coman could play there, but he's more of a right winger, right? And then Ribéry he's getting older. They don't really they need depth in that position.
Wait, where'd you read that?
Huh?
Where'd you read that?
It was in Sports Center. No?
Sports Center. That's cute.
But, okay, well, I don't know how legitimate it is, but if that happens, it'd work. He'd start.
Yeah. No, I actually like that move, Chiesa to Bayern.
He actually fits the style of the team,
Oh,
personally, I think the best move, if it's the case where Martial is leaving United, if he's pushing for a move, I think the best place for him would be Bayern Munich. He get consistent playing time. They have a lot of French players, so he can speak to players in his native tongue. And they get be easier for him to build chemistry that way from the get go. They're going to it's going to have a really good atmosphere, so he's going to be easily integrated into the team. And he's the player that suits the system that they have.
Well, if you're the France national team, you want that. You want Martial and Coman on the same team. Because that chemistry they're going to build is unbelievable.
And not only that, he's versatile. So you can have, like, say Lewandowski is injured or needs a rest. He can play striker. He can play in either wing. That's the player you'd love to have. You know, he's technically his best player is striker, and he should be playing there. But he's not gonna play over Lewandowski. But you know, as a left mid or a left winger, he's gonna thrive at Bayern if he goes there.
Might be a
we
great
have to see what
backup.
happens, but
Be a great backup. I mean, could you imagine Lewandowski takes a break, Martial comes on as a backup striker? Jeez, who wouldn't want that? It's gonna cost like 60, 50 mil. Oh, and
I'm
he's,
sorry,
he's
they're not
linked to
they're not
Juve.
playing him. They shouldn't squeeze the they shouldn't what's it called? Trying to squeeze the cash out of Bayern.
Well, you know what? It's
Bayern's like, you're
tough.
not playing him. That's literally what I say. It's like, we want 60 mil. You're not playing him. We're not paying 60 mil for a bench player. Like, they make really good bargains. Like, they'll maybe pay 40, 50, but like 60 million is like, I'm sorry, it's way too much for the fact that. Here's the thing: when he was playing for Monaco, he was was Monaco, right?
Martial was Monaco. Yes, he came from Monaco
he was
originally.
he was one of their best players. So of course you're going to pay that much for him. They overpaid for him.
Well, yeah, 30 mil at first was way too much money from Manchester United.
That was
That's
60
just-
mil.
30 million pounds was it?
Okay.
Something like that. Okay, it might have been $60 million. Yes.
You need to Jamie it, man. But no, like, you know, you go
This
into
is
that-
why we need points. Okay, we're gonna have points. To be fair, we're doing quite well with having no points whatsoever.
This is our first podcast. We're just getting a feel of it.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
If anyone's seen the Bill O'Reilly video, it's about a minute long. You have to see it. It's hilarious.
What's it? It's just Bill O'Reilly do it live. Doing it live.
It's so just Bill O'Reilly. We're doing it live. I think you even I put in Bill O'Reilly meltdown. That's the first thing that came.
There's
up.
a lot of meltdowns, man.
No, but it was the first one that came up. I think it's from the '80s or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny. It's him at a desk. He can't read the teleprompter. To be fair, the teleprompter's not working, but he's just yelling. He's like, "We're doing it live. We're gonna do it live. I can't read it." It's so funny. It's classic.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone who hasn't seen it, definitely go Google it. It's hilarious. It's definitely a must-watch. It's good times. But yeah, no, Martial's linked to Juventus. Why?
That's just not.
Why would you go to Juventus? What are you going to do at Juventus? Like, why does Juventus really need him? Think about it. What the hell are you going to do with Martial at Juventus? I don't like that move. Actually, frankly, other than Bayern, I think Milan's a great move for Martial. We desperately need help on that left. And apparently the China people are rich. If they're not rich, well, we get bought out by Saudi Arabians. We have even more money. So
I said Martial would be great at Milan as well. But if you're thinking of terms of his own career, not personal interest, because we love Matt Milan. But in terms of his career, I think Bayern would be the best move. He has the right coach to help him develop. It's like Heineke says he's going to leave, but there's a lot of really good coaches, coming to take over for him. We have Nagelsmann from Hoffenheim, who's doing a terrific job, who's in the run for it. We have the coach for Nice, I forget his name. He used to coach Berlin and Mönchengladbach. And he's an incredible coach, possession based. I think he can handle the team really well. Then apparently there's a recent report that what's the name of the Argentinian coach for Tottenham?
Sampaoli? Oh, Pochettino.
Yeah, he's been linked, but it just doesn't seem. It just seems like they wrote an article to write an article, so I wouldn't take that with a grain of salt.
Tedesco's another one, Schalke coach.
I think he'd do an excellent
I
job.
saw something like that, but I don't know.
But
about
at the
Bayern
same
yet.
time, the way he sets up his team, I don't think that'd be the best fit for Bayern.
Bayern can't set up a 3D. You saw what Pep did with the 3D. It just didn't work well.
They killed it with a 3D, but they need
Not
to
in Champions
understand
League.
it's not. Yeah, in Champions League, yeah, of course. At the same time, like he was playing as really risky, stupid high. You're just asking for it. Like you know those assholes who are like, oh, a woman's wearing provocative clothes. They're asking for it. No, they're not asking for it. Pep was asking for it. He was asking for it, not those women. Like he's just asking.
What are we comparing here? Are we actually we're comparing rape to Pep's coaching?
Well, he did get demolished.
What
Like,
is
they just Bayern had their way with them.
Yeah.
No, Real Madrid had their way with them. I'm thinking Ancelotti being the coach, like he was coaching Real Madrid at the time.
Well,
They said they had their way with them. Pep was just like, here you go. You open the floodgates.
Ancelotti just put Pep to shame there. I mean, he just
It's-
demolished Pep.
Yes and no. It's just a stubbornness. Like he needs to get over his ego. Like that team had the quality to beat Madrid. Like that team, like you're always saying this. Like his tenure at Bayern was a failure because he should have won at least one Champions League. Like that team, they didn't win anything and they were in their prime. And then now they're an old team and he let them out to dry. Like he left the team in ruins. He did the same thing with Barca. They struggled after he left. They still have a great team, but like he leaves them in worse shape than he takes.
Any moron, and I see this a lot. Any moron who said he sets the team up for years to come. Bayern, exactly. I'm pretty much repeating what you said. I don't mean to, but you hear people say, "Oh, he sets teams up for years to come." Barcelona were left in absolute turmoil. Didn't have a shot. They had to go out and pretty much get a new team, sell some players. He left Bayern, like you said, in absolute turmoil. Screwed Bayern over. Left them with an old team, had no shot. What is he going to do with City? Plus, I mentioned, I don't understand with Pep. When Pep comes to a team, every team pulls out their checkbook. When he coached Bayern was like, here's my checkbook.
Well,
go buy whoever you want.
I know
Ancelotti comes. It's like we have a policy here where we don't spend that much money, so we're not going to do that. But let's go spend $35 million on Douglas Costa, who was unproven, excellent player. Don't get me wrong, but just simply not policy at Bayern. But that's okay because Pep's coaching.
Here's the thing with that. You know what? That was, again, the hypocrisy on Bayern's part. But at the same time, from the perspective of another German, is they took the chance. They didn't go the way that they went. They didn't stick to their, how they usually do things, right? And they're most likely just a little more cautious because of what happened with Pep. It's like we wanted to get. In all fairness, they should have bought Verratti when Ancelotti bought Verratti.
What? Why would you not buy Verratti? At the time,
and he is
Ancelotti
consistent.
wanted Verratti. Well, to be fair, Verratti doesn't show up in the big games. And that's always been big. He doesn't show up in the big games. He let PSG down a lot in the Champions League there against Madrid. And he's let Italy down a few times in big games. That's not down to him, obviously. You can't completely blame him, but he's not shown up at times when it comes down to it. But, yeah, Marco Verratti, 40 mil. 40 mil, he can go to Bayern. No, don't buy him. Brings in. I forget who he brought in, but they couldn't bring him in because they didn't want to spend that much.
Didn't they bring in Rudy as a midfielder? Because
Rudy came on a free.
Thiago.
Yeah, Rudy came on a free.
Wait, is that when they bought Tolisso, or is that later?
Tolisso came in. To be fair, they spent money on Tolisso.
Tolisso is a great player. He has a lot of potential.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine when Vidal and all those guys leave. Like you're gonna have a midfield.
Well, Vidal's leaving this summer, right?
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I can't see him being at Bayern after the summer.
But, I thought he was staying because I read an article on Bundesliga.com. They're talking about, they're asking about what he feels about Leon Goretzka coming to Bayern. He's like, I'm not worried about the competition. So, I don't, you're following him more than I do, so you would know more.
Well, Vidal, realistically, he's got a point there. As of right now, he is a better player than Leon Goretzka.
Oh, Leon Goretzka has massive potential. He's been one of the most talented Schalke players for years. And recently, after the Confederations Cup, he's finally putting those performances on the pitch.
Did you hear who Bayern's interested in?
Who?
Arp. Big Schalke.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Big Schalke.
Don't ruin Arp. They're probably, in all fairness, they're probably just going to loan him out to another team.
Well, they're going to do what they're doing with Gnabry, right? Buy him. Hey, go play for this team.
Actually, I don't know why Gnabry isn't playing for them right now. Gnabry. I don't know why he's not playing for
Hoffenheim?
No, for Bayern. He has the quality to start.
Not over anyone they have right now.
Well,
I can't see him starting over Coleman or even Ribery. I wouldn't even play him over Ribery as of right now. But I think give Gnabry a few seasons, he does well.
Yeah, well, he has to prove himself, I guess.
Great sale, Wagner. You stupid cunt. Sells
we just
Gnabry.
said that live.
Yeah, you know why not? Pissed me off. Why would you sell Gnabry?
No,
That was so
that was
stupid.
upsetting. And then he's killing it at Werder Bremen. Like, are you not surprised?
Yeah, it's a
Have
good
you-
thing
have
we
you seen him?
checkmarked explicit content before sorry there.
Yeah.
But what? We said like a few swear words, big deal.
That
Whatever.
one's gonna be a little. We're gonna get a little backlash for that. If anyone's listening, we apologize. In all fairness, it's the more English. It's the more English variation of.
Bro,
word.
this podcast will be popular in Britain. That's all they use, man. That's all they use. They use those. They love those words. No, it's just it came down to stupidity on Wagner's part. Why are we selling Gnabry for $6 million?
Not even that. Before his injury, he's taking off for Arsenal. Like, he was putting numbers in, and then he doesn't give an opportunity and sells him for no money. You know what? If he sold Gnabry for like a really high fee, like at least like 20 million, then you know what? That's still low. But at the same time, okay, fine. When you part way with a player of that quality and that the potential that he had for 6 million, it just kind of like there's no one else to blame. It's just like it's at a point where he just doesn't know what he's doing anymore, or he's just grown senile.
Yeah, he's got to leave the club. I think it's time
Like,
for him to
he's
step
stuck in the past. Like, he revolutionized the game. Like the game is part way it is because of him.
Oh, put it
But
this
he
way.
needs to understand that he needs to evolve again. It can't stay like that. The reason why he was so revolutionary because he switched things up. Well, guess what? Now everyone's at pace with him. He hasn't changed. Like, that's one of his biggest problems.
Put it this way. For Arsenal to win Europa League, Wagner gets a 25-year contract extension.
Yeah,
If
he's
he
never
wins.
going to leave.
He's not going anywhere, Wagner.
But at the same time, it's
Or
not just
Wagner,
Wagner. Because
whatever.
do you blame him for staying? Like, he gets a nice contract. He's going to coach the team. There's prestige there. If anyone, you're going to fault the owner, who only cares for the profit. And
Oh,
at the same
yeah.
the owner's only there for the profit. He doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about the fans.
Yeah.
He bought the team as a nice tax break. He's putting more money in his pocket. He doesn't care about other stuff. You know how much money he's making a year just for being in the Premier League? Finishing in the top 5. He's like, hey, I see this paycheck. It's like, fine, let's do mediocre every time. I don't want to spend money. Let's sell players.
Top 4, baby. Yeah. That's all we got to do. Just finish top 4.
That's the
every
problem when
time.
you have people in there just trying to earn profit.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's what it comes down to. But it's happening a lot in the Premier League recently. You're seeing teams, Chinese owners buy teams and just make a fortune and not worry about taking care of the team. Just keep making that money, right? Do well. So, yeah, it's a lot to consider when you look at the Premier League, who has a $3 billion contract, or not $3 billion, it's an extremely lucrative contract offer.
In pounds.
Is it pounds or dollars? It's actually,
We need to look at it.
I know it's a really lucrative deal, and Serie A is now the 3rd highest, I believe, right now when it comes to contracts, which is quite impressive for Serie A. It'll be interesting to see who they are sold to.
Okay, so it's a 5.14 billion TV right deal, and that's over, I think, 5 years.
5.4 billion.
No, 5.14
Jeez,
pounds.
5.14 pounds.
Well, I'm quoting BBC here, so if they're wrong, play BBC.
I don't know if BBC would be wrong on that one. That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane, man. That's pretty nuts. 5.15 million. Yeah, I don't even.
Dude, you have teams that are like bottom of the league, and like they make more money in TV rights than Bayern does. Like that's that's ludicrous, man. Like, seriously, like the amount of money they're making is just criminal.
Put it this way: when Swansea and Huddersfield are making $25 million signings, that says something. $25 million from Huddersfield. Like, how can you even fathom that?
How are they doing in the season? I've been following the Premier League.
Huddersfield, they're relegation battle as of right now. Doing quite well for the most part.
Hey, they're doing better than Hamburg, last place.
Hamburg,
the dinosaurs are finally going extinct.
Yeah, you know what? It was like I said, it's stuff like that. You need a catastrophe to happen for a team to finally be like, yes, Okay, clearly we need to move in the right direction now. This isn't working. Let's move on.
Let's keep on selling some of our best young talent. You know, sell Heung-Min Son, who's tearing up in Tottenham. He's been one of my favorite players in following since he's 17 years old. You know, sell him for nothing. Like, what, 8 mil to Leverkusen?
Arp's going to be the next guy gone, isn't he?
In all fairness, he should leave. He needs to get consistent playing time. You know, my thing is, I don't know, because you made a good point. Like, if he goes second division, he should be playing, but will they play him? Because I don't know how stubborn that the management is at Hamburg. They should be. If they're in the second division, undoubtedly, you start Arp every game.
Where's Ta going to end up this summer?
I don't know. I think a great team for Ta, in all fairness, I think he'd do well at Real Madrid. Like, he is that quality of a defender. Like, I've been rating Ta since, again, I've been following since 17 years old. I saw him play when he debuted, and I'm like, this guy this is some of the best defending I've seen from, like, anybody in a long time, and the dude's 17 years old. And now, when he was still raw, he's a very intelligent defender, but now he's up this physical ability. He's quicker now, has better ball distribution, he has a frame of, he's 6'5", he's built, and he can run. He has speed on him. Like, you have essentially like a complete player. You know, like, there aren't many faults on his game. And then when Dortmund they bought Omar Toprak. Oh, because, like, you know, they have a good defensive record. And it's like, if you really watch the games, because I was watching Leverkusen because I was following Ta and stuff like that, and they have an incredible player in Julian Brandt, and right now Havertz, oh my god, that kid's gonna be somebody. You know, you're gonna know him for years to come. And he's carrying the defense. Like, you know, Toprak is making mistakes, and Ta is recovering for everything. You know, most of the mistakes come from Toprak, and they buy him, and they wonder why he hasn't been a sensational defender for Dortmund. They bought the wrong defender. They're looking at a guy who's more of a senior player, who's had more consistency. But if their scouts were really paying attention to the game, they would have seen that Ta is the true gem on that team. And they should have, like, imagine you had a pairing of Socrates and Jonathan Ta. Like, that defense would have been solid. You know, like, Dortmund would not be in the position. Well, no, that's unfair to say. They've had a lot of injuries, freak injuries, and you can also blame the management or their fitness director. Like, I don't know how they're rotating their players, but you know, and right now they're overplaying Batshuayi. Like he's gonna get injured soon.
They gotta give him a break. You saw the last game he played. He just wasn't fit. He wasn't fully fit.
They're playing in way too many games. They need when. Here's the thing. When during the summer, when they had only Aubameyang and striker, they should have bought at least one backup striker. Like, who do they have that can play striker? In all fairness, you can play like Andre Schürrle there. You can play Marco Reus. Isak can play there. There's a couple players that also can slot in that position. Maximilian Philip can also play in striker, but they should have bought an actual player that can play in that position. Like, the problem is depth. You know, they're buying players in positions that they necessarily don't need. They're stacked in midfield, but they don't have, you know, depth in defense. They don't have, you know, depth in fullbacks. No, actually, no, it's not fair to say. They have Toya and Durham and all those other players.
Also have Passlack on loan at Hoffenheim.
Oh, Passlack! I'll be surprised if he doesn't become something. Like, that kid's got talent.
Whose sister is he dating? No, Pulisic is dating Passlack's sister.
That's hilarious. I don't know if they're still dating though. Oh, okay, we're not turning into TMZ, okay? It's not our
We're
spiel.
having a conversation like we normally do.
Yeah.
This is why the podcast is becoming interesting now. Although my back is killing me.
Yeah. Now let's hold the mics closer. Yeah, we need like proper stance.
Well, actually, I was about to ask you. You want to keep going, or you want to stop?
We got to end it on some note though. Like, we're just rambling on at this point.
Who's rambling on? We're having a good time. We're having
we're having a good time, but like, we got to leave it on a good, solid point. Like, you know, we need to leave it. We didn't finish the Italy point.
My Italy point, like, essentially, what was this? I'll continue quickly at the 2016 Euro. Yeah, my back is just killing me now.
Hold the mic like this, man.
Just.
It looks so inappropriate. If like anyone was watching us right now, if we were on camera, I was like, yo.
So, anyways, my point for 2016 Euro team was we overachieved, and I told you we were going to say this. We are going to make this point. when Italy won, Tavecchio came out and said, "Look, we played as a group. We played as a unit. We did well. We fought to the end. We are tough. We are Italy. Yeah, awesome." So we continue to call up Pele and there. Pele moves to China. Does nothing. Essentially, wastes China's money. And Adair becomes nothing, doesn't really do anything. He's not even getting playing time for Inter. And we continue to struggle with guys like this. And then my issue is, and this is why I kind of laughed, because I don't know if anyone watches secular talk out there, possibly not, but I laughed because remember how Kyle face palms with the Democrats and gets upset with the Democrats. He goes, "You're the same. You're not changing. It's the same thing." And I laugh because I look at Italy. I'm like, it's the same mistakes constantly made. Guys are being left off the team that deserve to be on the team. Guys are getting called up that have no business getting called up because they're buddy. De Rossi's buddy with Chiellini and Bonucci, so they all get called up. And Buffon picks the teams with Chiellini and those guys.
Dude, it's just like in like house league, man. You know, daddy's coach and he brings all his son's friends.
Isn't it? It literally is like that. It's like, hey, Buffon goes up to Ventura and goes, "Hey, you want to play these guys today? Because we're buddy. And we're going to win because we're just amazing in Italy." And again, I'm like, it's the same issues. Have a guy who comes into the team, coaches the team. Ancelotti is actually an excellent coach. The coach Italy right now, and I believe he's the favorite. But who wouldn't want Ancelotti coaching the team right now? He has no favoritism because he hasn't really coached anyone. He's coached Verratti and Motta and Sirigu. That's about it at PSG. Bring in Ancelotti. He hasn't really coached anyone from any of the teams. He's coming into this
team though.
What?
He doesn't want to coach the national team.
He says he doesn't want to coach the national team as of right now, and I understand that. He doesn't want to coach the national team as of right now. Yeah, is my mic low?
It feels lower, like mine's much more clear sounding.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh no, was that the volume control? I thought that was for my microphone. That might have actually been for my mic, wasn't it?
No, we're good now. Continue.
Yeah, we're good now. So like I said, my point was for Italy, you bring in a coach who has no favoritism. Conte had a favoritism for Juventus, and it was blatantly obvious that he favored Juventus players. And it really hurt our chances of bringing a quality team in 2016. We overachieved, we did well, better than we should have. But don't bring in a coach who has no favoritism. Joachim Löw, when he came in to coach Germany, he had no favoritism towards players. None. He picked the best team that suited his style.
And players that proved themselves.
Who proved themselves and did well. And because of that, they won. And they not overachieved, but they played better because they knew they had the trust in the manager.
I think that's the downfall of most international coaches. Like, yeah, what's Spain's coach name? Is it there's a boss Del Bosque or something like that?
No, not anymore. It's someone else.
No, at the time.
Oh, at the time, yeah, Vicente Del Bosque.
I think that's going to be one of our downfalls this World Cup, is that loyalty that Joachim Löw has to the team. Like, that's, again, why managers don't stay. International managers, that's why they stay at like 1 or 2 tournaments, maybe 3, and that's it.
Yeah, because it's like you said, you develop a loyalty, a favoritism towards a player, and it ends up hurting them. And will that be Germany's downfall this World Cup? Possibly. Possibly when it comes to loyalty and favoritism, you don't know.
We'll have to see what he does, the decisions that he makes, Hopefully he's learned his mistake from the Euros. We'll see how it happens in Neuer. Like, if the only reason Neuer should be there if, he plays outstanding in his, last couple weeks back. And he's going to play him in friendlies. Has him maybe start for one game in the World Cup, and he's going to... Well, actually, you can't do that. You can't like, not decide who your player is. You need to go into the tournament deciding who your player is.
You don't want to pull a Ventura.
He has a really difficult decision ahead of him.
You don't want to pull a Ventura, or you don't want to pull a Roy Hodgson. and go into a tournament not knowing your best team. That's never the way to go.
Like, not even your best team, but he needs to know, like, his most crucial positions. I think that's more what we're looking for, because there's a lot of times when you go into a tournament and there's still a few adjustments you need to make throughout the team. Move a player, start someone else. But when there's, like, a few holes there, not holes, but, like, he's not assured who's, you need to know right away who your goalie is going to be. You need to know right away who your defenders are going to be, and certain things like that. Your most crucial positions. You can't go who your 40. You can't. You need to know who your top 2 guys are going to be. You need to know who's going to play striker. What's his face? Hodgson was playing 3-4 different players. It's you need to have 1 or 2. Coming into this World Cup, there's 2 main players that should be starting. Gomez has been really proving himself. Maybe just form, but I think he's on a roll for the World Cup. And then you have Timo Werner, who's been sensational this season, right? And, it shouldn't be rotating between Wagner, Gomez, and Werner. It should be your main number 1 and your close second. And that's about it. You can't have any guesses. You need to be assured. You need to stick with it. And that's another problem that Germany had. Sorry, I keep interrupting when it comes to Germany because I want to make some points.
Don't worry about it. It is what it is. That's why I have you on the show. That's why we're both on the show to provide some insight with everyone. And like I said, I wish we didn't really have many points for this one, but I felt like we did a decent job for having no points. We kind of
just winged it.
Well, we meant to start this show a week ago. Meant to start it last week. Had issues.
We didn't have microphones.
We didn't have microphones, audio issues.
And then you kind of have a junky computer. When I buy a new laptop, we use my new laptop. Because, I don't know if we get in trouble for this, but don't buy a Chromebook. They're terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of my Chromebook, to be fair.
You're better off, a really simple, notebook.
I certainly do not recommend purchasing a Google Chromebook, but you know what? It's great for some applications. I'm not even going to lie. But I definitely don't recommend buying a Chromebook. So, yeah, don't look at probably buying one of those.
And we got some pretty decent microphones online. I can't complain with the price. We were very fortunate to get them on sale. The regular price, around $70. So, you know what? We got lucky. And, we're going to stick with it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, we're looking to provide more podcasts. Gonna look to do at least a once a week for sure show. Minimum 1, possibly 2, depending what happens that week. Maybe, get little. The word escapes me, but I'm trying to say is, give some more insight and give some more of our thoughts. Hopefully, you guys listening or whoever listens, once this is not live, obviously you can download the show on Spreaker, and we're hoping to upload it to Spotify. We got to see what's up with that. So
also, we're uploaded to our formerly known Skinny Elephant page, but now has become Canadian Bacon. You can see it live there.
Yes, we can change the name.
We need to see how it's being uploaded first, because it might just be uploaded as a soundbite, or it might be uploaded as a file that we need to edit and do ourselves. And maybe maybe we'll take a game of FIFA, a couple games of FIFA, and we upload it, and then you get to watch us play in the background. I don't know what we're going to do. We're just enjoying it right now.
Yeah, it's just pretty much going to be us talking about soccer every show. Maybe talk about some other stuff going on, right? In the world and whatnot. Maybe some other fun stuff. But it's gonna be a lot of soccer talk and a lot of insight and with the World Cup coming up, some Champions League, Europa League, of course, league stuff. Even
if we get the same amount of predictions correct as we did in the Euros, man.
Have a youth segment.
Actually, I'd love to do the youth
segment.
It'd
be great to have a youth segment. Just bring up some players. Hey, give this guy a watch. He's tearing it up in this league, youth league or whatnot. Something like that. Just pretty much bring as much information as we can and inform you soccer fans out there and what to, and who enjoy the game as much as we do, and hopefully, broaden your education on the game. Even new fans out there, fans that don't even know the difference between a soccer ball and a soccer football, American football.
Dude, you're just being judgmental there.
I'm being judgmental.
Like, come on, you know the difference.
I probably triggered a lot of people.
You gotta be a jerk there. Like, I'm sorry, how do you not know the difference? You see a soccer ball, and you see, like, an American football. It's pigskin.
It's an expression.
I know.
It's an expression, but yes. Like I said, pretty much people, even new fans out there, new to the game, World Cup coming up, just stay tuned, listen to our show. We'll help inform you guys, and, maybe you can decide what teams to root for, what country to cheer on, and, maybe understand a lot more about the game.
Well, more for neutral fans who don't really have a team to support and, just want to get behind something.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. For sure. It just, inform everyone out there about players and teams and...
Dude, we're going to make Kievo Verona fans out of some of our listeners.
Kievo Verona fans out of some of our listeners. Jeez. Yeah. Milan beat Kievo Verona, too. Oh, I actually meant to ask you this, but I forgot. Do you think Suso gets called up to Spain?
Does Suso get called up to Spain?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, because I don't like Spain, and I hope they call up a player that's just not going to do well for them. He's a very selfish player. He always tries to dribble by his man. He's predictable on his left foot, as you always mention. You always point out the fact that he's overrated, and he's predictable, And in all fairness, the one thing you can say is the talent that they have on that team can liven and add an extra dimension. Maybe they will, help. What's the right word? They kind of blanket some of his weaknesses. That is potential there, but joking aside, I don't necessarily think he should be there. I think I don't know how well of a season he's having. I've only followed the beginning of the season.
I think he gets called up.
Yeah?
I'm being honest. I actually think he gets called. I don't think he plays a minute in the World Cup unless they clinch the first two games and maybe he just gets put on as a sub.
Who's that Athletic Bilbao player? What's his name?
Inaki Williams?
Yeah, he should get some time. Maybe just as coming off as a sub. Like that kid's talented.
Absolutely he is. Yeah, no, I think Suso gets called up, to be honest. I think he does. I think I'm not a fan of him. I frankly am not a fan, and I think I've seen links with Liverpool and Atletico Madrid.
Take the money.
40 million for Suso. Take it. Take 40 million for Suso. I think that's as good as he's going to get. Like, I don't think he's going to get much better than he is now. I just don't see much of an upside on him. He's a great free player for us, and I think it's time to take the money and run, so they say, and invest that in a much younger, vibrant player.
Okay, dude, we keep on getting off track. You need to finish your Italy point.
Well, pretty much was my Italy point. Just simply stop making the same mistakes. Learn from your mistakes, pretty much. Just don't call up guys based on loyalty. It's easy to get attached and feel for a player. Gianluigi Buffon has been there for years. Guys like Barzagli have resurgence.
What about their
Been
playing
there for
style?
years.
They're stuck
Right?
in the past too with their playing style.
I think playing style is going to be switched. I'm not, unfortunately, missed the game tomorrow. Maybe I can re-watch it. Hopefully catch it somewhere else. But tomorrow, they're apparently lining up as a 4-3-3 against Argentina.
That'd be interesting to see who starts.
I think that's certainly the way to go. I know the predicted lineup was Insigne, Immobile, Chiesa, Verratti in the midfield, Zappacosta. Forget who the left back was.
They're probably going to start Bonucci and...
Bonucci and Collini, I believe, were starting. Buffon was in net. But
why did they come back?
Buffon's only back for this time.
Just the friendlies?
Yeah, no, he's not come. He's done.
Why is he coming back for the friendlies?
To pretty much signify everything he is about Italy. I don't know. And,
is it like a going away thing?
Well, pretty much mentored Donnarumma as well, right? Donnarumma and Murray and those guys.
Like the only positive.
So,
think of him still being there.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I don't mind that. I don't mind him being called up for friendlies to help mentor players because he's done after this year.
But in
you
that
can't
regard,
be on the
why
national
is he
team.
starting? You know, like if he's starting it, like he shouldn't be starting against Argentina.
Well, I don't think he's going to play the whole game. I think Donnarumma gets brought in halfway through. Or Perrin gets brought in halfway through, to be honest. I don't think he plays the whole game. I can't see it happening. I'd be surprised if he played the whole game. But you never know. You never know. Maybe he does. I don't think he does. And I don't think Buffon, except I don't think Buffon plays the whole game. I don't think Chiellini Bonucci played the whole game. I think Romagnoli
Regani
gets brought in. Regani gets brought in. And I think you go from there. But you have to. This is where, like I said, I think we're headed in the right direction with call-ups like Chiesa and Cutrone. Guys like Barella got called up. And I think you're headed in the right direction there. But you still need to stop with the Buffon, like you alluded to. I think I'm okay with him being called up for the friendlies. After this, if he constantly gets caught up, you need to look at, again, changing the system. You can't stay the way you are. You have to adapt. 4-3-3 is the way to go. I'm fine with that. I actually think it's a great switch. He brings out the best in Insigne and players like Chiesa. Cutrone probably gets brought on as a sub. I'd be surprised if he doesn't play this game. Or if he doesn't play at least 1 or 2 games. And we go from here. Hopefully we can continue to learn. The voting happens very soon. I believe it's either next week or in April. And I'm rooting for Tomasi. I hope Tomasi gets brought in and he switches up a lot of things, changes it up, shakes things up in Italy. Because we don't have a bad team. We don't have a bad youth. But you can't continue to stick with the system. You need to tweak it a bit and make it better so we can fully reach our potential with these youth players.
And another thing that I don't think you alluded to is another positive of the 18 teams is, here's the thing, what is it, 20 teams right now?
It's 20 teams. It's too many
20
teams.
You have like lower tier teams that shouldn't be there. On top of, all the other benefits that they have, better financial distribution between the teams from television rights, is you have less weaker teams, so there's more, in a sense, it's not necessarily competition, but it's more well-rounded. It's higher. It's a higher level.
Yeah.
So like you don't have like teams playing against like what? Who's bottom of the table right now? Like Spal.
Yeah, it's Hellas Verona and Benevento who've won like 4 games in total.
Like those teams shouldn't be there. So at least you have better. You create. There's more consistency and there's more depth in the league. It's like you don't have. Like you look at Serie A and you look at those teams and they're kind of a joke. It kind of disgraces the integrity of the team, right?
Yeah, but Benevento have 3 wins. Hellas Verona actually have 6. Crotone have 6. Spal have 5. Chievo, and you look at these again. I'm naming off these teams: Chievo, Sassuolo, Cagliari, Genoa. They're not. These are teams that lack so much quality. You look at the lower teams in Bundesliga. They're more quality-based than the lower teams in Italy, or the lower teams in the Premier League are better than the lower teams in Italy.
Oh, Hamburg.
And it just... Sorry. I bet you any money Hamburg would beat those 4 lower teams.
Actually, probably could.
I bet you Hamburg beats Benevento, Hellas Verona, or Crotone.
That's saying something. Hamburg are kind of garbage.
Well, maybe not Spal. I think maybe Spal gives them a hard
time. The way that Spal, they have a good run of form right now.
Yeah, I think Spal probably beats them, but yeah, no, it's just, and that's my point. The only thing Italy has going for them, and it just goes to show how much the competition is in the top 6, is Italy in Serie A. The top 2 right now, it's 2-point difference, and the top 6, it's a 9-point difference between those teams. So that just goes to show the competition in Italy with the top tier teams. But outside of that, got nothing going for us realistically. Spain continues to dominate club-wise, same as Germany. And the Premier League now that they're spending the cash or developing some solid teams there. Well, let's be honest. If England doesn't have the money, do they do that well? I don't know. I mean, teams like Liverpool and Man City have done well once they got the sheik there to splash the cash.
In all fairness, though, he's really properly investing in the team. So you kind of have to give him credit, though.
Oh, he's doing an amazing job, both on and off the pitch. very, very vocal.
He's not
off
just
the pitch
got
and doing a
lot
great
of
job
money trying to buy a
marketing.
team. Like he cares about it. It's his baby.
No, absolutely, absolutely agree. Yeah. All right. You want to stop there? You want to keep going?
No, I think we're good. We hit like an hour and almost 40 minutes. That's impressive.
It's pretty good. Talk for a lot. Nice long, not too long podcast. Not everyone's going to be 3 hours, but there's going to be a few. Probably going to stretch a little long for sure. And there's going to be a few that are probably shorter than this one. So, we'll go from there. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our first podcast. Again, we didn't really have any notes on this one. We kind of just didn't want to... Well, we didn't want to delay it anymore. We simply didn't want to delay anymore. So we figured, why not start one? Get our jitters out and get into our comfort zone, which I believe we managed to do.
Yeah, we're not completely there, but
Around the hour mark, I thought we hit our peak.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it off on that note, and we'll see you guys next time. I guess we'll just leave it off there.
Yeah.
So follow us at Canadian Bacon Twitter page and Facebook page. We have
Twitter handle is CDN_bacon.
Yep, CDM_bacon. Our Facebook page is Canadian Bacon. I
Yep.
believe that is not Canadian_bacon, right? It's just Canadian Bacon.
And
You can
wanna give
catch-
me follow me. I am at C_Bass94.
Absolutely. I was going to say before I interrupt quickly, you can also catch all the podcasts. So if you guys don't have a Spreaker app, our podcasts were shared to Facebook and Twitter. So you just got to go to those pages and you can listen. And our YouTube channel, which was Skinny Elephant, we got to change the name of that.
It's already changed.
It's already changed Canadian Bacon?
I made sure everything was set.
Awesome. It's changed to Canadian Bacon. So, again, it's on our YouTube channel, Canadian Bacon. And we're going to look into uploading this to Spotify. If we can, that'd be great. So, we'll let you guys know about that one. So, we'll leave it off on that note, I guess. Unless you got one last word. Anything else to say? What are you going to say?
I just try to leave it an awkward silence. You just end it. Well, yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Till next time.
Peace out.
Bye.